Hello SuperGIS fans, welcome to our online course again. I'm Eva, support engineer in SuperGIS. Today we're talking about how to create your first Android apps with our SuperGIS Server SDK. It's our mobile Android SDK to accessing the map service published by our SuperGIS server. So this is the online for today's seminar. So first of all, I will introduce for the sources of the sample codes. You will find the sample code in our help menu, and you also can find the sample code online. It's in our SuperGIS developer network. We call it SGDN. It's just simple. Just type sgdn.supergiostech.com. You can search for the sample codes for Android SDK. So the second, I will have a brief introduction for the tools that before you create your first Android apps. And then the third one is the structure of accessing the map service, which is published by our SuperGIS server. And the fourth one is to start to create. So we'll have a basic step to show you how to apply for our Android SDK. So the final one is the demo time. I will have two examples to show you how to apply Android SDK to accessing the map service published by our SuperGIS server. So let we continue with the first topic is the sources of the sample code. First of all, in our help menu, is in our SuperGIS server developer guide. There's a category called SuperGIS Server Mobile SDK. So you can find the sample codes located in this category. We include Android, iOS, and Windows Mobile. The three of them belongs to this category. So you can find the steps and the sample codes under here in our help menu. And the second source is our online source is our SGDN. So you can go to our SuperGIS developer network and go to the resource center. There's a SuperGIS sample. So after entering this category, you can use the keyword search here, or you can directly to use our products to search for the topics that you want. For example, if you would like to find the Android SDK, you just need to check on this one, SuperGIS runtime for Android SDK. And then once you click on the search icon, there's a list for what we provide. For example, for the Android SDK, we now temporarily provide the 6 samples, and each of the topics. After you enter this page, you will see the description part and the details that the date to publish to provide the sample code, and the two of this one, how to use, and the sample code is important because in the how to use part, it will tell you which part that you need to modify, and the sample code part is the whole sample code that you can just copy and pass to your project while you are creating your Android apps. So this is the one of the sources that you can find more. And in the future, we will provide more samples for the Android SDK, so you can looking forward that. Okay, go to the next one is the tools that we need to prepare before we create our first Android apps. The first in our help menu, or according to our sample codes, we are basic on the Java Eclipse. So you need to download the Java Eclipse, and then to download this one, JRE, to click on this icon. And then to download this one, basic on the Windows platform. So you can depends on the OS that you got. So to click on this one to download, to install, and then go to this one, eclipse.org, to download Eclipse IDE for Java developer, and it also depends on the OS that you got. So it might have 32-bit, or if your OS is based on 64-bit, you need to click on this one. And this is the tools that you need to prepare while you do the coding part. And this is the second part you need to prepare for the tools. There's also have a third part that you need to prepare is the Android SDK. So you can use the keyword search on Google. Just type Android SDK. It will lead you to this web page, developer.android.com /SDK/index.html, and to click on this one to download Eclipse IDE. And then before you create your first Android apps, after you install all of the tools that you prepare, for example Eclipse or this Android SDK, you need to install the Android SDK manager for the API part. For example, if I want to develop an app based on Android version 2.3.3, it's based on the API 10. So I need to check this one in Android SDK manager, and then to install the components that I need to prepare to make sure it is installed in your Eclipse or in your SDK manager. And then you can start to develop your Android apps based on the Android version. So it's very important to prepare all the tools above before you create your Android apps. So after the tools, there's one more thing that you need to pay attention is while we are going to creating our first apps to accessing the map service from our SuperGIS products, we need to go to this folder. After you install the SuperGIS server, you will find an APK called SuperGIS Runtime SDK is under the folder C program files x86, and under the folder SuperGIS server part, and under the folder mobile there's a folder called Android. So if you are going to develop an app based on the Android, you need to go to this folder and to copy this APK to your mobile device, and then to install it. It's very important because we are going to accessing the map service from our products SuperGIS server. So before that, you need to copy this one and then install in your device. So this is all the tools that we need to prepare before develop our first Android apps. So, and then the next task is because we are going to accessing the map service from our SuperGIS server manager, from our SuperGIS server. So we need to use our SuperGIS server manager to publish the map service. But there's one thing that you need to pay attention is the manipulation depends on the kind of the map service. For example, this is the interface of our SuperGIS server manager. If your map service, for example, like this one, Flag City, if this map service belongs to the editable one kind, so there will be a check here. It means it is editable. So you can create an app that can do the editing action. So if, for example, another one, City Flags, the map service, City Flags, there is no check on the edit part. It means that this map service it cannot be added. So while we are creating our apps to accessing this map, we cannot use the function that to edit on this part. So the manipulation depends on the kind of the map service. before you accessing the map service, you need to pay attention about the type of the map service. So this is important before we develop our Android apps. And then the second one is I'm going to introduce the structure of accessing the map service. While we are developing our Android apps, we access the map service for the list by our SGSP agent.ashx. For example, this is before that you can check the contents in this one. For example, this is the IP address for the host for SuperGIS Server and /sgspws and /sgsp agent.ashx. So we can firstly to take a look what's inside this one. We can just copy this one to pass to any web browser, and this is the interface in the web browser. For example, this is the structure is simple. For example, we can use this one to type in the username and the password for the SuperGIS server, and then to log in, there's a star means it is required the information of the left hand side column. It is required to fill with, and then we can use this function to log in. And then after login, we can get the map service, the list for the map service. For example, use this one to get resource, or use this one to get resource to find out the list for the map service, and then we can use the name of the map service to accessing, and then to develop function in our in the Eclipse to develop the Android apps. And then for example, to query for more information for the layers. For example, after we type the username and the password and the language, for example, this one, fill in. If we would like to query more information, for example, we would like to query to check for this map service, twprj.cfg. This is the map service. We can fill in with all the columns here, and then to click on this one, get resource, and there will be another web page opened on our web browser, and then the XML file will list all the information. For example, the layers in the map service. For example, there's only one layer called city in the map service, and also give the hint. It means if the layers is editable. For example, the layers city is allowed editing. And then you also will have the information for the special reference and the boundary, the envelope for the map service. So all the information that you can query about is just directly from this link. So while we are developing our Android app, we base on this query, and then to access the map service, and then to connect to with our Android apps, then to display. So this is the structure of accessing the map service. And furthermore, that if we would like to query more information about the layers, for example, we can type the layer name, and then to get the layer information, for example, the field that we got in the layer, and also can have the layer legend. So this is the all information that we can query about directly from this link. Okay, so after finished introduce for the structure of accessing the maps, so we can start to prepare the project. It is based on Eclipse, and then after you install the Eclipse, after you install the tools, and then you can use this one file to new an Android application project. And after click on this one, you need to select the target. select the minimum required SDK. And in SuperGIS Server Mobile Android SDK, you need to base on the minimum required SDK is Android 2.3.3. So if you would like to use our SuperGIS Server Android SDK, you need to set the minimum as Android 2.3.3. And the target SDK, it means that the one that you are going to develop, and the others you can just to choose one by the drop down menu, and then to give the application name, and then go to the next step. It's important that we need to add external jar. It means that we need to add our own components from our SuperGIS runtime SDK.jar. Is under the folder SuperGIS server part and mobile and the Android folder. So we need to click on this icon to add this jar file to the library, and then to switch to the order and export this one to enable the jar, and then the components will be adding to the project, and then it will call the function in our jar file. So that is all about the preparation work. So we can now start to create our first Android apps for accessing the map service from our SuperGIS server. So here's the first example to creating your first Android apps to accessing the map service, which is published by our SuperGIS server. So there's the two screenshots in our Android device. So after we create the apps for Android and then run it in our device, so we can accessing the map service and then to display in a screen, and then use the features to zoom in, zoom out. Just use the two finger to zoom in and zoom out like this one. So how we achieve this one, the function. So you can firstly to check the sample codes from our user manual. It's in our developer guide under the category SuperGIS Server Mobile SDK. And now we are based on the Android platform, so choose this one. And then there's the previous preparation work is have detailed description for this one, for these 5 steps. And then if you would like to just check directly to check the sample code, you can directly click on this one, SuperGIS Server Runtime for Android sample. And now we are basic on this sample, use SuperGIS Server Map Service. And then on the right hand side, there's a detailed description. For example, all the source codes to the Android apps will be written here. For example, which files that you need to modify, and then the source code that you can copy and then to replace. And this is, for example, the first one we need to modify on the main activity.java. This is the major part, the functional part to do the coding for Android apps. For example, this one we just need to copy all and then to pass to our project. And in the code part, because we are going to access the map service from our SuperGIS server. So firstly, you need to know the IP address, and just like what I mentioned before, because we are going to load a list for the map service, so we are going to use this one, sgspws and /sgspagent.ashx. This one we need to type the link here, and then to type the account name for the SuperGIS server and the password for the SuperGIS server. And the last part is the map service. And now here I type the strs, means just a string. And what's inside the string? What I add is in front of here. This is the name of the map service, just the resource name here. So the name of the map service I create is called twprj. So I just add this string to strs and then put at the last part. And then we can access the map service by this function, and then to add to display, to add to the map view, and then to display, and then to display in the content view. And in the coding part, we can also set for the background color, for example, white color, and then you can also set for the string while waiting. For example, if you would like to show the information, for example, the map is loading, so you can type the string here, and then after modify on this .java under here the source part and com.example, and here there's a main activity.java. This one after modify on the major part. The second part is we need to go to modify on the user permission in the file Android manifest.xml. This one, just double click on this file and to switch to the code part, then append 2 lines to expand the user permission. And the source code that you can find in our user manual, developer guide. So you just need to copy these 2 lines to here between the end of the application and before the end of manifest, just under this location. And then this is the whole step to create the Android app to accessing the map service in SuperGIS Server. So here comes the demo time to show you how we create our first Android app. So let me switch. Okay, allow me to switch. First of all, spare some time to introduce our SuperGIS Server, because we are going to accessing the map service from SuperGIS Server. So in SuperGIS Server Manager, just type the username and the password to log in. And the only part that you need to finish is in the service part. Once you have just finished to publish the map service, it will list in here, in this window. So after you publish the map service, it will be listed in here, and then you can check the type. For example, this one, it is also including the editable map service. So the map service we are going to use is this one, twprj, and I already make it as editable. And then after adding the map service onto this list, the text in SuperGIS Server Manager is all done. So now we can go to we can log out to start to develop our Android apps. And before that, another thing that we need to pay attention is we need to copy our SuperGIS Runtime SDK.apk to our Android device first, and then to install it. You will find this APK under the category Program Files to find out SuperGIS. Then to go to the server and the mobile part. And then because we are going to develop the Android apps, so we choose this one. There's a SuperGIS Runtime SDK.apk, and then we can just copy this file to our Android device, and then to use any file explorer in your Android device to install this APK. And then after that, we can start to develop our Android device, Android apps to accessing the map from our SuperGIS server. So after click down, so it is already installed. It will have SuperGIS runtime APK already installed in our Android device. So we can use, the next step is we can use our tools, Eclipse, this one, Eclipse platform, to create a new Android application project. And this one, for example, we just give us a name, for example, SuperGIS. Then remember, you need to set the minimum required SDK based on the version Android 2.3.3. Gingerbread, this one, use the API 10, because what we use is what our minimum request for develop our Android SDK is based on this version. And the target SDK, because my device is based on the version 2.3.3 as well, so I just set as this one, and the others we can just keep as a default. And then go to the next step is to create Android application. If we would like to create a custom launcher icon, we can check on this one, and also to create the activity as well. And go to the next step is I can set the background color, maybe based on blue, and then to set as a square, so it will have an icon contains the background image square in blue. And then go to the next step is to create activity. And then go to the next step to set for the name. We can just keep it as a default, and then click finish to create a project. And the next step is very important, that is we need to add an external jar file. For example, the step that we need to proceed is right click on the project name and go to the property, and then we need to sorry we can ignore that. And then we need to go to the Java build path and go to the library part. Go to the library part to use this one, add external jars, to add SuperGIS runtime SDK.jar, the jar file under the folder disk.c program files SuperGIS, and for the server part to choose the mobile folder and to choose the Android, and to find out this jar and then to open it. And after that we need to switch to the fourth step to check this jar, because we are going to use the function in this jar file, and click on OK. And then in the reference library it will be listed here, and if you expand the function, you will see we provide a lot of function, include called SuperGIS runtime.sdk, including edit function and the advanced attribute editing and all the tools. So all the function will be quoted according to the jar file. And the next step is we can to check for the sample code in our user menu. In our SuperGIS Server Developer Guide, we need to go to the category SuperGIS Server Mobile SDK, and then because we are going to develop the Android apps, so directly choose this one to expand. And I just skip the first 5 steps in details, directly go to the sample code part. And in this example, we are just directly to use the 5th example to use SuperGIS Server Map Service. Here's the complete sample code. For the first one is the main activity.java. So I can just copy this the sample code, copy the whole coding part, and then go to the Eclipse, and then to find the Java activity, the main activity.java. It is under the source, and here under this one, here it is the main activity.java. Just double click on this one, and then to keep the first one, to keep the package, this one, and then to delete the others, and then to paste the sample code. And then we need to delete the code, the first code from the sample code, the package one. Here we need to use the original package, and then we can save temporarily. And then there are some things that we need to pay attention. Is the first one is we need to switch, we need to change the IP address for the map service. Here I change to my SuperGIS server here, and to type my username and my password here. And the last one is the name of the map service. It will corresponding to this one, string.add. So here I need to type my service name is twprj, and then there's a arrow, so we can use the mouse to move here to fix the problem. I can use this one here to fix the problem. And then there's, I think all the issues are done for the main activity.java. So the next step is we need to modify for the user permission. Just copy these two lines here. Here's the hint. We need to run the Android manifest.xml, and then go back to the Eclipse, and then to find out the XML, just double click it, and then to switch to the coding part, and then to add the two lines between the end of application and between the end of manifest to paste, and then to save it all. And then now we can connect our Android device with the my PC, and then after it connected together, I can use the run to compile the program, and then to run the coding part to accessing the map service to display in my Android device. So allow me to check a little bit. Here I can change the DDMS to check if my Android device is connected or not. So here it is connected. So I can go back to the Java, and then go back to the main activity.java, this one, and then to use this run to compile to run SuperGIS, my Android application, and then to click OK. So after we compile the program and execute to display to in our Android device, here it is my map to display in my Android device, and then I can use the two fingers to zoom in or zoom out. Here you will see this is the map service that I just published by our SuperGIS server, and then to accessing by our Android SDK. So here is the first example that you can achieve to create your first Android apps to accessing the map service from SuperGIS server. So it's quite fun, right? So allow me to switch back to the second example here. Okay, here comes the second example that we would like to overlay our map service in our SuperGIS server to overlay with OpenStreetMap. It is totally free online map. So we can add the map service to display and also overlay together with the OpenStreetMap to display in our Android device. So that we just take a look how to do it. As the same, first of all, you can find the sample code in our user manual in our SuperGIS Server Developer Guide. As the same, under the category Mobile SDK, and for Android part, there's for Android sample code. And the final one, overlay SuperGIS Server web map with OpenStreetMap. So as the same, there's also the part to how to use and also the complete source code. For example, you can here in the how to use part, it will tell you to open the Eclipse and then to add a new Android application project, and then to modify in the Android manifest.xml to add the code here, add the code part here, and also add the other part of code. So this is the first part that we need to modify for the user permission in the Android manifest.xml to expand more for the five lines for coding to expand the user permission. And then the major part for it is just located in here as the same after the end of application and before the end of manifest here. So add these 5 lines to expand the user permission. And then the major part for the function is as the same. This is in main activity.java. So just go after you creating the project, Android application project in the source code part, and to find out the main activity.java, and then double click to start to write the code. And then first of all, it is important that you need to import the runtime.sdk for online map. It is for OpenStreetMap. So these 2 lines, import supergis.runtime.sdk.onlinemap.openstreetmap layer, is important that you need to import this one, and then you can quote from OpenStreetMap. And then the other part is you need to add a map service from SuperGIS Server. For example, as the same, you need to give the source, the IP address, and then it will load the list of the map service. And then this is also the account name and the password. And the last one is the same, just the name of the map service. And in here, because we are going to overlay with the OpenStreetMap, it is based on the coordinate system based on the web Mercator. So while I publish the map service, I need to the map should based on the web Mercator. So where I publish the map service, I create another one to use the coordinate system based on web Mercator. So the name of the map service, I just give a name tw-webm, and then to add the layers and then to set the transparency, and then to add the OpenStreetMap together. So this is the main part to overlay all the maps together to display, and then to set the transparency for the map service. So the other part that in the simple code is we also enable the icon function. It is to zoom in or zoom out there's an icon to zoom in or zoom out to zoom to extend. So we are going to enable it, and then to use this part to add the function in our apps. So here comes the demo time again. So allow me to switch. Okay, for the second example, there's one thing important because we are going to use the icon to enable the function to zoom in or zoom out or to zoom to extend. So we need to copy the image for the icon to our Android device first. So allow me to switch. here, switch here. You need to copy the image under the SuperGIS Server folder under disk C. Going to Program Files, SuperGIS here, and go to the server part. Go to the mobile, and to choose the Enjoy sample code part. To find this folder RES, and copy the image in this folder. For example, SDIP, this one, copy these 3 image to your mobile Windows Android device. For example, this one, to copy this one as the same to the RES folder, go to this one, HDIP. Here is already have 3, and as the same to copy the image from the folder to your Android device. For example, this one, and then we can start to develop our Android apps to overlay OpenStreetMap with the map service published by our SuperGIS server. So as the same, we can go back to our Eclipse platform, and then to create a new Android application project. And then to, for example, this one is give us application name. For example, because now we're going to overlay the OpenStreetMap with our SuperGIS server, the map service. So I give us a name as this one, and remember to select the minimum requirement SDK as IPI10 Android version 2.3.3, and the target is the hardware need to use as the same based on this one. And then go to the next step, and to create a custom launcher icon or to create the activity. And then go to the next part is I would like to use, at this time I would like to create a orange as a background, and to use a circle like this, showing like this one, to create a customized icon. And then go to the next part to create activity, and to finish to create a new project. And as the same, we need to add external draw. Just right click on the project, and then go to the property, and then to switch to the library first based on the Java build path, and then to add external jars, to choose our SuperGIS runtime SDK.jar, this one, JAR file, and to open it, and to switch the fourth tab, and then to check to enable the function in this jar file, and click OK. And you will add as a reference library. As I said, you will check the whole function in here. And in the coding part, we can switch back to the source, and to find out the main activity.java. Here, just double click here, and then we can use our simple code provided in our user manual, developer guide. And then now, because we are going to based on this one to overlay our map service with OpenStreetMap, so we directly go to the last simple code. And then there's a lot of description in details in this part of simple code. If you would like to check, you can directly to see this. For example, this one is explain this code, because it is add the service from the server, and then to overlay with the OpenStreetMap. And then go to another one is this one is to add the menus in the upper right corner. And then the other part, and here the code part is for the complete simple code, so we can just copy the whole part for the coding part here until this one, and then to copy, and then to pass to here main activity.java in our SuperGIS OSM project. And remember to keep the original package, then to replace the others. For example, here just paste. And to delete the second package, this one is from the sample code. You need to delete this one here because we code from the online OpenStreetMap. So the others we need to pay attention is the map service, the IP address for the map service. Here, I change to my SuperGIS server and use my own account name and the password. And this one I change to my tw-webm here and save. And you can check the function in the library. Just expand the function from the jar file and then to find the corresponding one, and then you will find out the corresponding one to modify to fix the error. So after all this one, I can connect my device to my PC and then start to before that, I missed one thing is that the user permission that go back to the developer guide in our user menu. We need to copy the 5 lines for the coding part to paste to in our Android manifest.xml. Just double click and then go to the last part between the end of application and between the end of manifest here, and then to save it and go back to the Java activity.java, main activity.java, and then we can now start to run it and then compile as an Android application and to display in my Android device. So this is the result that we overlaid our map service which is published by SuperGIS Server, and to overlay the maps, the OpenStreetMap. So we can use the 2 finger to zoom in or zoom out, or to use the icon to zoom in or zoom out, or zoom to extend. For example, to zoom out this one here, or to double click on the map to zoom in, and then you will see because we set the transparency for our map service. So I said that the map service originally is in yellow, but now it is some transparent here. So this is how we overlaid our map service together with the OpenStreetMap. So you can modify in based on our sample code, and then to create your Android apps to accessing the map service and with the OpenStreetMap. So here's the second example. So that's all about today's topics. If you have any questions or technical issues, that please feel free to contact us, maybe by email, or post your questions on SuperGIS forum. Our forum is www.supergeotech.com/forum, or directly to email us by staff@supergeotech.com. Tech is TEK. And I will recommend you to subscribe our SuperGIS TV, that you will get the latest information for our courses. And thank you all. Thank you for today's join. See you next time. Bye bye.